Do you want your sparrow to look as slender and petite as this bony piece of art? Or maybe you're looking to complete this dungeon with an opportunity to receive the new exotic sidearm, Void Crossbow. Or maybe you're looking to get your first master clear and receive that nice artifice variant of the new dungeon armor. This is a complete guide on how to beat all encounters of the Warlords Ruin Dungeon for both normal and master's version. First, you want to go to the tower and pick up the quest from my core array. Whenever you enter the dungeon, you'll be placed in a snowy area to traverse. This first part, you'll want to look for platforms with red flags that'll give you an initial indication of where to go. Once you scale the right side of the mountain, you'll find a bridge and come across a yellow bar screed that'll begin to run away. You'll find these throughout the dungeon and will want to kill them quickly to get materials used for future steps of the dungeon quest that you'll be completing. When you've killed the screed and crossed the bridge to the castle, you'll find a secret door that holds a bone offering scattered across the dungeon. I'll leave a location of all doors as you complete the dungeons and the relic tiers required to open the doors throughout this video. After opening the door, prior to going up the steps, you'll want to go to this room and activate this area to start your secret exotic quest line. After that, go up the stairs where you'll find your first encounter. When you begin the encounter, entering the room, there's a structure to your right and left. And in doing the master version of this dungeon, I found it was easier to clear mobs while on the left side of the map. It tends to be really crowded as the encounter gets longer, so be sure to have weapons that'll clear ads easily. Whenever doing the normal version of the dungeon, weapons like the Lament with shotguns or fusion rifles were great for 1 to 2 phasing the boss. However, while completing the master version of the dungeon, the boss can basically one-shot you even with 100 resilience. So using weapons like the Dragon's Breath exotic rocket launcher from Season of the Wishes Battle Pass did well for both damaging the boss and clearing the ads. The general mechanics of Warlords Ruin are one called Imminent Wishing, which is a countdown at the bottom left side of your screen, which is about 30 seconds long and is noted as Wish Imminent. The other mechanic is capturing ether totems. They look like a blighted token with a capturing ring around it. You'll want to capture these prior to the Wish Imminent timer reaching 0. You will not be able to capture these totems faster with more players standing in each ring. So what you'll want to do is dedicate 2 people to capture each of the totems without being hit by the ads, while having one of the players kill the ads in the area. The reason why you want to capture the totems is because the more you capture, the longer the damage phase when damaging the boss. If you're doing the master's version of this, if one is near the boss itself, I recommend just skipping capturing the blight for a round. What you'll notice is that there is no fire team wide wipe mechanic at any point of this dungeon. If you leave the capture points, then the time to capture does not reset, so you have more time than you think. The last mechanic that you'll see is destroying the Taken Eyes. Now for this first encounter, once he first spawns the Taken capture totems, he'll soon teleport the entire fire team in these kinky jail cells above the arena for his entertainment. It's not too fun since 3 Taken Eyes will spawn for each character in all directions of the cell, and you'll have to shoot and destroy these 3 Taken Eyes to be released from the boss's kinky death trap. I recommend doing a quick 360 around eye level to the bottom portion of the jail as it rises, as it'll be harder to see the Taken Eyes as you go up. Once you destroy all 3, you'll have around 15 or so seconds to capture the Taken totem on the ground. You'll know they've been captured when you see the blight in the middle turn into a blue color and you see bones show. After you've captured the totems and have enough time on the clock, find an area to prep and damage the boss, as you'll not be able to damage him until after you've captured the totems and the Imminent Wish timer has hit 0. Other than that, whenever you've damaged the boss enough, he will spawn 2 yellow bar scorns on the normal mode and 2 unstoppable champions on the master version. For masters, I recommend you skip a damage phase by not capturing the totems after being released from your jail cell to defeat the unstoppable champions. Other than that, rinse and repeat until you defeat the boss. After you defeat the first encounter boss, you'll see a giant Taken marshmallow spawn, which is the final boss of this dungeon. Once he does, you'll then be teleported to a jail room. If you are in a fire team of 3, you'll be teleported to 3 different cells. Each of these cells will be able to look at and shoot 2 different circular discs at the top portion of some cells. Whenever you shoot one, it will move indefinitely to one direction until you shoot it one more time, then it'll stop. Then once more to rotate towards the other direction. This will be the main mechanic of this room, along with some cell-specific things, such as 2 cells located at each end, which will have a skeleton and tally marks on the ground. If you are in the orange glowing cell room, then it would mean that however many tally marks are on the ground, you will have to shoot that many spinning plates going to the left direction. So if you are in the darker room with the skeleton, then you would know that you will have to shoot the total tallied number of plates going in the right direction. For example, if you are in the orange side and you see 4 marks on the ground by the skeleton, then that means it's going to be 4 plates that has to be shot going to the left direction and 2 plates being shot going to the right direction. One cell is located in the middle between these 2 guardians and will have a key that you could shoot outside of the cell. Once you have all 6 plates going in the right direction, then you'll want to shoot the key to open the cell. If you have done it wrong, then the plates will reset by stopping the direction they're going in. Once you are complete, then traverse through the maze. If you have not already completed this quest, you'll find more doors as you traverse the area, along with secret chests which are random on each run on which is a real chest and which is a trap. The way you'll be able to differentiate what is a real chest and a trap, the chests with blue glowing lights around them are typically trap chests. So what you're looking for are the open chests without the glow around it. Sometimes the chest that doesn't glow are still a trap, so don't try opening it if you're going for flawless, wink wink. I'll have all locations for each door and chest located in the background. For the second boss room, you'll be located in an arena style area where the boss will spawn in the middle along with some adds. If you're on the normal mode, 2 taken yellow bar minotaurs will spawn in the middle of the arena. If you are on masters, 2 unstoppable champions will spawn. You will want to take out these champions as soon as possible. Taken eyes will also spawn above the arena, and destroying all of these is what spawned the next mechanic. My recommendation is to destroy all but 1 taken eye, and if you are on masters version, the entire team should stick either to the left or right side of the map, furthest away from the boss. Prior to destroying the last remaining eye, however, you'll want to see the torches along the perimeter edge of the map, and these will be important for this encounter, as whenever you destroy the last taken eye, 2 yellow bar Scorn mini bosses will spawn on the left and right side on the map. A few seconds after they spawn in the map, they will drop a taken totem similar to what you saw in the first encounter. Whenever you defeat a Scorn mini boss, they will end up spawning another taken capture totem. The objective of this portion of the encounter is to defeat and capture as many taken totems as you can within the 30-second time limit of the imminent wish timer that is going to be indicated on the bottom left side of your screen. This tells you that you have 30 seconds to kill the mini bosses and capture the totems before that phase ends. You will also notice at the bottom left side of your screen that you'll see cold stacks being applied to your character whenever you aren't near a warm source. You'll die once this stack hits 10 stacks, so you'll want to be by a warm source by the time you're around 7 stacks. Where can you find a warm source other than the nice warm and cozy blanket that you're using to play this game? Well, it'll be those torches that are located around their perimeters. I recommend you just kill the mini bosses from the torches, as you won't have to worry about the cold stacks building up. If you're on masters, I recommend you just focus on 1 mini boss each phase until you get more comfortable with the run. For me, I found it easier to kill the left mini boss. Once the imminent wish timer has gone to 0, solar orbs will spawn in the middle of the starting point of the arena for as many totems that you've captured. I too want to rephrase that this portion is not timed, and if you have down teammates or even want to restore ammo, you could kill some adds along the bottom to restock. The only time portion of this encounter is whenever you pick up the solar orb. Whenever you do pick it up, you want to go down to the bottom. This can be 1 team member if you are on masters and deposit the orbs at each of the 4 braziers. I recommend that you deposit at the 2 closest first, then deciding as a team which 2 of the braziers furthest away from the starting point of the arena on the left and right side that you'll want to deposit the last ones, because once you've deposited the last orb, the brazier will unlock a damage phase. Similar to the first encounter, you'll see a timer of how long you'll have within each of the braziers to damage the boss. You'll want to go around in a logical manner as a team and damage the boss as you go in a circle at each of the 4 braziers. I typically use Well of Radiance as a warlock on the second brazier to clear some adds and allow everyone to shoot rockets together. A tip for this area is that you want to shoot all the taken eyes but 1, as you'll spawn the yellow bar mini bosses again on the left and right side. Once you have completed the damage phase, more unstoppable champions will appear and you'll just have to take them out again prior to spawning more Scorn mini bosses. You'll want to defeat the taken eyes to make the damage across the board more bearable. Again, if you are low on rocket ammo, just leave a taken eye and farm a few waves of adds until you're ready for another damage phase. I found that the Dragon's Breath with fusion rifles worked well on this boss, as well as taking care of the adds along the bottom portion. Once you have completed the second encounter, it will lead you to where you'll find more secret chests and hidden doors for the exotic engram quest. If this is your first time running the dungeon, you'll not be able to open any of the doors. However, the more you complete it, and if you're with a fire team that's far enough ahead in the quest to open tier 3 doors, which should be around step 6 of the quest, you could collect these items beforehand. Once you have collected enough of the materials for the quest and completed dungeon encounters or farm kills of the yellow bar Screed that'll appear in between each of the boss fights for fragments, you'll get to a point of the map where you'll have to kill a bunch of taken monsters before scaling a staircase. Get to a point of the map where you'll have to kill a bunch of taken monsters before scaling a staircase. If you're on a specified step for the dungeon quest, then you'll want to interact with the blight at the center. Once you've scaled the stairs, then you'll be literally falling for your next encounter like it was your soulmate. For the final encounter, you'll meet the giant marshmallow once again. Whenever he spawns, 2 Overload Champion Minotaurs will spawn that will snipe at you if you are playing on master difficulties. You'll also see taken blights that will periodically spawn on the ground. You'll want to destroy these as they'll do damage over time to you. There will also be taken eyes spawning right next to the boss. Similar to the first 2 encounters, you want to take out all but 1 or 2 of the taken eyes and clear out the yellow bar ads that spawned or the Overload champions. To mitigate as much damage as possible, while on Masters, for the first platform, when you begin the encounter, I'll hug the wall on the right side to avoid the void damage shots by the boss. Once you have defeated the ads to an acceptable level, destroy the last taken eye to spawn in the yellow bar Scorn and start your Imminent Wish timer to begin the damage phase, similar to the first encounter. You want to wait until the Scorn mini bosses drop the Taken Capture totem, as it will give you additional time for your damage phase within the first platform, the more totems that you capture. If you are on Masters, just take out the Scorn Captain on the right nearest to the wall, protecting you from the boss's attacks, as the other will spawn on the left side of the platform. Make note that these mini bosses will despawn once the Imminent Wish timer hits 0. The second portion of this mechanic is that soon after the Scorn mini bosses spawned in, you will see a second timer on the bottom left hand side of the screen, mentioning that you have a corrupted debuff and it has about a 15-second timer. If you do not pass along this debuff before the specified timer reaches 0, then you'll die. So how do you pass it? There will be 3 Scorn yellow bar melee captains that will spawn on the left side, the middle, and the right side of the map. They will flicker with this blight darkness. These guys are immune to all normal attacks. In order to pass the buff, you'll either have to hit one with your, even if it's a ranged melee ability, or you could physically hit them with your melee attack. Only one member of the team can transfer the corrupted debuff to each of the captains. The way that you'll know that this buff is taken is that you'll have an indication on your screen that's saying that it has been transferred. The timer to the left will also disappear from your HUD. Lastly, you'll get a visual indication of which captain still needs the debuff transferred to. And that's by seeing that they have turned fully blighted 100% of the time versus that flicker. While they are in this state, they could still transfer the debuff back to you by hitting you back, so once you've transferred it, you'll want to run away until the timer reaches 0 and they die. If a team member dies during the corrupted transfer phase, once you've rezzed them, they will automatically die again. So what you'll want is to wait until after the captain dies, or when the Imminent Wish timer hits 0 for damage phase to damage him, depending on how many taken capture points that you've captured. Also note, since you have to simultaneously capture the taken capture points as well as transfer the debuff, it may be best to have someone distracting the Scorn melee captains while one person captures as many as possible before the corruption timer hits 0. If you leave these capture points, again, the capture timer does not reset, so you have more than enough time than you think to be able to dodge the melee Scorn captains. Once every member has transferred the corruption debuff and captured at least one taken totem, then it's damage phase on the boss. However, it's more of a damage check phase, because if you don't do enough damage to take out at least the light orange portion of the marshmallow's health before the timer runs out, then you'll have to repeat the process on that same platform. Once you have done enough damage, you will go to your right to the next platform, and if you are on Masters, 2 more Overload champions will spawn. Again, it is best to go to the right side and avoid damage from the boss and clear ads as much as possible. From there, take out the taken eyes again that shoots out tears of joy or mean eye boogers at you. Whenever you are ready to do damage, if you aren't, you could leave the taken eye again and farm some ads until you have enough heavy ammo to do damage to the boss again. Kill the yellow bar mini bosses to the right if you are on Masters after they drop the initial taken totem, and transfer your corruption debuff on the melee scoring captains. Once the damage phase on that platform is complete, then you'll go to the third and final platform that will have an overload champion spawn on it. For this platform, you'll want to stay on the left side as it'll provide more cover. Take out the blights and adds and repeat the process until you do damage, and go to the topmost platform where it'll spawn another damage phase. It won't have a timer, however you'll have about 15 seconds before the platform turns into hot lava, and you'll have to rotate to your right side to the next platform. Now for Masters, the taken eyes will be hard to deal with, so you'll probably want someone dedicated to destroying them while the other two use their heavy and supers as you rotate platforms. As each person runs out of ammo, you can rotate who's damaging the taken eyes. Whenever you go through all 3 top platforms, if you have not damaged the boss enough to get it to the final stand or the last 10% of its health, then you'll be teleported back to the bottommost platform to defeat the overload champions again and the scoring captains until you reach this point. Once you have made it to final stand, you'll be teleported to a separate platform than you are used to seeing. If you have a warlock well, then use it, or hide behind the pillars and shoot at the boss and taken eyes. There's no time limit to final stand, so if you run out of heavy and special, just use primary weapons and stay alive until the boss dies. As for weapons, I stuck with the Dragon's Breath. I'm sure grenade launchers, linear fusions, and the Wither Horde with a catalyst will be good too. With that, you've completed Warlords Ruin on normal or Masters. Don't forget to grab the bones next to the reward chest if it's your first time playing, as it's the first or the 10th bone that you'll require. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.